So I guess paying rent is optional nowadays. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the rapper known as Cardi B saying that she has tenants who have not paid any rent in the past 9 months. Now, Cardi B is in the same boat as a lot of landlords. People are refusing to pay rent. They're taking you to court, having all types of lawyer action, and this filed against you and that filed against you. It's basically like you're being held hostage. They are a squatter in your home calling themselves a tenant. Now, I've covered plenty of these stories where people have to get the police involved and they don't want to get involved and they got to go to the news to get people out of their homes. Now, I think in this case, they were tenants, then they stopped paying rent and refused to leave. In other cases, you had outright squatters, people who had no prior tenancy. They just moved into the place, took it over and said, I'm not going to pay any rent. Then they had to get evicted by the police out there. It's a crazy thing. But before I go any further, let's watch her talk about this whole situation and also some other issues being a landlord with properties in different countries. After we get done with that, I'm going to play another video from LA of people protesting against paying rent. A lot to unite. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
We have tenants that haven't even paid rent for like 9 months. 9 months. And sometimes like we be so busy and like our house managers, like they'll be so busy that I'll be like, you know what? Don't even take them to court because we just be so tired. Like we don't even.
I mean, at a certain point, I understand kind of what she's talking about. This is part of the reason why I kind of don't want to be a landlord. People always tell me, get into real estate, ABL. It's a great thing. I think buying and selling property will be good for me. But as far as being a landlord, having that responsibility, having tenants that don't want to pay or they destroy your property when they leave, when they get evicted, or they destroy it just regular living there, even when they are paying rent, I don't want to do with all the drama. I don't want to deal with it.
Even have time for that because we just be doing so much shit. Like sometimes people be like, oh, get property. Like, please, babe. Oh, let's not even talk about, let's not even talk about the Dominican Republic Airbnb that this about me. Always something. Please. I don't want properties as gift. I don't want properties as gift.
I mean, now, if you have an Airbnb in DR, you probably got a whole different type of problem happening there. You got tourists, you got just a lot of extra stuff going on. Then the laws in their country are different than the laws over here in the US. It's just a whole big mess. That, I think, would be a headache. Again, if I were to really get into real estate, I would like to buy and sell. Trying to manage properties, I don't know. I think you can have like property managers you pay and they handle it. But still, if anything happens in the property, ultimately it's you that's going to be responsible. So you may have a property manager that handles certain things, but then they're going to call you, say, hey, no, the tenants flooded the property. Now we got to get X, Y, and Z. Now we got to pay this amount of money. Now we got to get him evicted. Now you got to get the police involved. Now you got to get the sheriff to get him out of the property. Now they have property rights. Now we got a squatter. I don't want to deal with those phone calls. I don't want to deal with it. Buy and sell, I'm out. That's pretty much how it would be.
Please. And we planning to buy another property. Like, well, we debating because it's like, you know, we like tired of renting in LA. Like, it's like, we really want to buy a house in LA, but we also like, it's like, do we want to buy a house in LA or do we?
Buying a house in California is going to be an arm and a leg and your firstborn child, for real. That's going to be a big crazy mess right there. My advice to any regular people, Cardi B, obviously big celebrity. She's married to another big celebrity, Offset, from the rap group Migos. So they're worth millions of dollars put together. But any regular normie, I would not advise you get a home right now because the interest rates are so high. Not only are the interest rates high, you also have very inflated property values. Now, maybe I could be giving the wrong advice because this may not even be the peak. It might go higher than this. You might even have higher interest rates and higher home prices. I don't see how it's going to go any higher. I saw a video of a guy talking about a house in Bend, Oregon, like a regular looking house, was $1.7 million. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play that clip. Then we're going to get to the protest in Los Angeles of tenants refusing to pay for their apartment. Pardon the weird cut. Okay, so you see this house right here. It looks pretty mundane. $1.75 million. Now, the guy that's filming the video is going to do a quick tour on the outside. He won't go on the inside, but it's not but so much to see. Let's check it out.
At first glance, this house might look pretty normal, actually just like a pretty plain Jane regular house. But it is currently listed for $1.75 million.
Now look at this. This is the Zillow page. So $1.75 million, $1,750,000 in Bend, Oregon. Now this is a 4-bed, 3-bath, and it has 2,600 square feet. This is like the size of my house, right around that. A 4-3, that's pretty much what I have. Now I tell you what, I didn't pay anywhere near $1.7 million. I didn't pay anywhere near the 0.7. This is a ridiculous price for this house. Again, Bend, Oregon.
It serves as just another example of the whole West Coast becoming just a playground for the ultra-rich. It blows my mind that someone would buy a place like this for almost $2 million. The place doesn't even have a yard. As you can see up here, there's some little natural landscape, whatever, but you don't even have a yard. And then 5-7 feet from your house is your neighbor's driveway. If you wanted to buy a place like this and you actually lived and worked in the city I'm from, you'd have to make like $450,000 a year. And you know what? The average job around here pays about 50 grand and the average household brings in about 75 grand. And all the new homes here are being built at a price point that is at least double to triple what the average family here could afford. And this problem only continues to get worse as all the land that they open up for development goes to these developers who want to build these planned communities with these incredibly expensive homes. There's an open house in there right now. I would take you guys for a tour, but I've heard through the grapevine that all the realtors in town, they just really can't stand me.
So that's what's going on over in Bend, Oregon. Crazy prices, ridiculous. I mean, I would never pay such a thing. Now let's go to LA. You heard Cardi B talking about she wants to buy a home in LA. Maybe she has property in LA and she could be dealing with things like this. People protesting against paying rent. Let's check it out.
Yeah, after filing a lawsuit against their landlord, these tenants and hundreds of others from the Barrington Plaza say they're frustrated over what they consider to be a wrongful eviction by misusing a state law called the Ellis Act. You're looking at a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in the Barrington Plaza. It's not the one Claudio Montanari is being evicted from at the beginning of September, but it's similar. How frustrated are you?
Oh, I'm incredibly frustrated.
Just like hundreds of other residents who have enjoyed their rent control lives here. But after 2 fires, the rental company wants to install new fire sprinklers.
We are against is the way that they're misusing the Ellis Act.
In a notice to tenants about their evictions, landlord Douglas Emmett said what they were doing was legal under the state's Ellis Act that allows landlords to remove units from the rental market. In other words, according to attorney Nima Farahami, it's when the landlord says,
I'm just done being a landlord. I'm going out of the rental business under the Ellis Act.
But Farahani and his law partner, Francis Campbell, are calling foul.
All they do is they're landlords. So this idea that all these people have to lose their affordable home because Douglas Emmett is done being a landlord is like saying the Lakers are done being a basketball team.
I mean, like, what do you do though? Like, if you don't want to be a landlord anymore, must you continue to be a landlord? Where's your rights as a landlord? See, this is what I'm talking about. I understand people don't want to lose their homes, but must I house you in my house if I don't want you to be there? Because ultimately that's what that is, right? Even if you're paying rent, must I house you? I can't evict you at a certain point.
They want a judge to rule on their assertion that putting in sprinklers is not the same as not wanting to be landlords anymore. And tenants don't understand why they can't be put in vacant apartments in the building while the sprinkler work is being done.
We're just fighting to stay here. We feel that any fire sprinkler retrofit that can be done while we're still living here. And the eviction is not necessary.
And tenant Robert Lawrence is alleging that landlord Douglas Emmett is misappropriating the Ellis Act to remove tenants and eliminate all rent control obligations.
And they can triple the rent and make a lot of money on the backs of people who've been living here for decades.
In a statement, the rental company pushes back, saying it's reviewing the lawsuit and its claims. They say Barrington Plaza has and is following the rules laid out by the Ellis Act. The units are being removed from the market under the terms of the Ellis Act. They also say the ownership of Barrington Plaza has been and continues to be uncertain about the ultimate disposition of the units and are preparing for a host of options.
I mean, what do you do though? Like, see what I'm saying? Like, this is drama. I understand there's some complicated things going on, but this is drama. Look, if I'm gonna get in real estate as I close, let me just buy and sell property. All this extra stuff right here, I don't have any time for. And as I just showed you, the housing market is so crazy, I'm not quite sure I would get into it right now. Maybe I would if I think that the prices are going to keep going up, up, and up, and up, and there's an opportunity to make money. But it's crazy out there right now. It is totally crazy. And again, I will link to all this in the box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary and read a little bit more. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Cardi B for trying to do what's right, having property, investing your money right. A lot of these rappers, they just spend the money on nonsense and don't have any kind of investments. She's doing the right thing. But she's realizing, as many of you guys may realize, that being a landlord and owning property is not all sunshines and rainbows. There's quite a few challenges. There's a lot of laws and drama and whatnot that comes along with it. That's pretty much what it is. And you combine that with the inflation, rent having to increase at a certain point, you're going to have a lot of issues that are going to be very complicated to deal with. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what's happening here with the real estate market, with tenants refusing to leave? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is going to be a thing that's very hard for a lot of people to kind of dig through because of all the drama that surrounds it. Personally, I'm not really a fan, although it can be very beneficial getting into real estate, having tenants. It could be a money maker, but it could also be something that is extremely stressful, difficult, and almost impossible to navigate your way through. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.